This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you've had a beautiful start of the year because today I'm sharing everything I made for my wardrobe over the past year. From sewing, upcycling to a few crochet projects, it's been a year of learning, growing, and creating pieces I truly love and some that I don't love so much. I wanted to make this video not as a productivity list, but more like a memory exercise. Each piece marks a moment, a place, a season, or a small shift in how I make things. I know most of these videos have a beautiful clothes rack, but all I had was a curtain rod, so that's what we are using. I will start with crochet because crochet has a very different energy for me. I don't make a lot of crochet pieces, but when I do, they are usually tied to rest, travel, or slower moments. This was the very first crochet project of 2025, or maybe the very last one of 2024, because I actually made it while I was traveling, so I could wear it on New Year's Eve in Thailand. It's made with lightweight cotton, super simple, and something I ended up wearing a lot. This one isn't exactly a clothing piece, but it definitely belongs in this video. I made my first crochet blanket this year and it took a long time. I kept coming back to it, putting it down and picking it up again, so in the end it followed me through almost the entire year. It became my comforting project, the one I reached for on days when I was too tired to think or decide anything. This scarf was pure joy to make. I used leftover yarn for this one and I'm so glad I did. It has colors I probably wouldn't have chosen on purpose and somehow they work together beautifully. Working with scraps feels like a gentle way of stepping outside your comfort zone, letting go of a fixate idea of style and just seeing what happens. I also decided to line it using my sewing machine so it won't stretch over time. And hopefully it will be something I can wear and love for many, many years. I also made a few smaller crochet pieces, bandanas, earwarmers, mittens, even a few things for my cousin's dog. These were quick little wins, perfect for using leftover yarn and relaxing a little bit. This is the second crochet vest I've made. I love making them for autumn. I made this self-draft without a pattern, so it's far from perfect. But I also used scrap yarn and I love how it turned out. It seems as if it would belong to Molly Weasley's wardrobe. These were the last crochet pieces I made this year, inspired by the gentle, quiet world of Little Woman. I originally made them to wear with my new winter dress, but I have been using them a lot with just a sweater. I'm very sensitive to the cold around my neck and chest, and these feel like the perfect in-between. Warm enough for chilly days, but less asphyxiating than a scarf. Now we are just going to take a quick break from the video because today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. One of my goals for this new year is to build a website where I can share my sewing and crochet projects with more depth. Patterns, instructions, and the details that don't always fit into a video. Squarespace makes that really easy. With Squarespace templates and drag and drop editor, I can create pages that really reflect my style, whether it's colorful sewing tutorials or step-by-step crochet guides. If you're a maker like me, you can showcase your work in a beautiful online gallery, even if you don't have products to sell. But if you do have products to sell, the SEO tools will automatically help your site to show up on search engines, which means more people can discover you. You can try Squarespace for free at squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/EstelSogo to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using the code EstelSogo. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. And now we move into the sewing projects, which is where I challenged myself more this year. This skirt started with a simple intention, to use what I already had. I had a lot of scraps and old shirts that had been waiting to be used. These were pieces that, on their own, didn't feel beautiful enough. But sometimes the most interesting pieces are made when you stop trying to make everything make sense. Patchwork feels like an exercise in letting go of control, allowing colors, textures, and patterns that didn't match to sit next to each other and slowly find their balance. Letting fabrics that didn't belong together. At the same time as the skirt, I made this vest, which took a lot of patience. Working with denim always humbles me, but I believe it's going to be one of those pieces that age well. The more it's worn, the better it becomes. This was a big, ambitious project and very different from what I usually make. I had to slow down and really pay attention to structure, to balance, to how cutting on the bias completely changes the way fabric moves and drapes around the body. I learned so much while making it, and in the end it turned out truly beautiful. I wore it to a wedding feeling very proud and also very aware of it. It's one of those dresses that demands presence. It almost touches the floor, so dancing requires a bit of caution. And the shoulder straps like to remind you they are there. So yes, it's beautiful, comfortable, only if you stand very, very still. Now come some pieces that I made recreating clothes in my wardrobe that I use a lot. And let me tell you, I can't wait to do this exercise again. I recreated my vintage Laura Ashley skirt, which is the most comfortable thing to wear with hot weather. I also made this basic crop top, which I'm still working on the pattern, and then I made what I like to call tulip pants. Funny thing, I didn't like this one so much when I made them, but it's one of my favorite pants I've made now. I've been wearing them a lot. They are pure spark and joy, so playful. Also, I'm super proud that I managed to make the back with elastic, but the front waist flat. Just don't ask me how I did it. Another piece that I've been wearing non-stop is this gathered top. It was so easy to make with just a strip of leftover fabric. I made another one to my sister, paired with some shorts, and she lived in this set during the summer. I really recommend making this. Since we are already in this blue phase of mine, let me show you the matching pajamas I made. The shorts were quite simple. I even have a tutorial for them here on the channel, but the shirt was definitely more challenging. I only managed to finish it thanks to some help from my mother-in-law, which made the process feel very special. To really learn and practice, I ended up making 2 full sets, one for me and one for my boyfriend. Now we get to feel a little fancy even when we are just at home. In the fall I made matching pajamas again, this time with long pants. Also for my partner I made these linen pants. I'm really bad at making men's clothes. I only made this because we played a project lottery and he won. They turn out okay, and he looks handsome with them, but he almost can't fit his big hand on the tiny pockets I made. Now, moving on to upcycled and resized pieces. We have this corduroy vest. It was a dress before, and I didn't have much fabric to work with, so it ended up being a very difficult project. I talk more in detail about this one on the featured video, but let's say it needs some fixing. All of you were very kind in the comments, so I've got a few ideas on how to fix this, but since I'm not a perfectionist anymore, I still wear it just like this. I made some other resizing projects on that video if you are interested. My favorite upcycle of the year was this dress made from one of my grandma's old bedsheets. It's a soft, breathable cotton, perfect for summer, but that's not really why it's my favorite. I made it during the very first week after we adopted our cat, Momo. He was still adjusting to his new home, and I didn't want to overwhelm him with too much movement or noise, so I worked on this dress slowly, a little bit each day. That slowness turned the whole process into something incredibly calming. I think you can feel it in the details. This piece will always carry that memory with it. It will always be Momo's dress. Finally, we get to the dresses I made with Sydney Graham's patterns. If you don't know her, she makes amazing sewing patterns, super easy to follow and versatile. In the fall I made this one, with only a tie at the back, so it was simpler than the original design. I wore this almost every day. It's so comfortable. I really recommend this pattern. Then for winter I made this other version. With a thick warm fabric, and instead of ties, I made buttons at the bodice and a strap at the waist. It's a perfect example on how one base pattern can turn into something completely new. And to go with this dress and other winter dresses, I made these Victorian undergarments. Really life-changing for wearing dresses in winter. They knew what they were doing back then. I also feel more whimsical wearing these than regular thermal underpants. Looking at all of this now, I don't see a perfect wardrobe. I see a year of learning, of making things with my hands and with intention. Not just to follow a trend, but to feel good and comfortable. To give a good use of what I make, and that feels like enough. I can't wait to keep sharing and learning, and I hope you come with me. Adeu!